Back in 1962, a few students at MIT released SPACEWAR to showcase what the new PDP-1 mini-computer was able to do. SPACEWAR ended up not only being the first game to be installed and played on multiple computers, but also one of the most important and influential games in the early history of video games. It was included in a list of the top 10 most important video games in history, got into the World Video Game Hall of Fame in 2018, and inspired games like Galaxy Game, Computer Space, and Asteroids. I'm part of a challenge named the 20 Game Challenge, in which you recreate 20 existing games. In this video, I'll show you how I remade SPACEWAR in Godot. In the first step, I set up the game project and the player ships. I used a sprite to make a simple ship and added it to the scene. Then I implemented the movement with one function for rotating and one for accelerating. After adding a second ship and controls for it, I had two ships that I could fly around with. From earlier games in this series, I had some components that I could reuse for spawning, despawning, and torpedoes. Each ship has a destructible component, which despawns the ship when destroyed. So to the new torpedo, I added a destructor component, which destructs any destructible upon colliding with it. I also used my spawner and spawnable components to spawn the torpedoes from the player's ship. In the original game, you also had to avoid the big star or planet in the middle, which continuously pulled you in and destroyed the ship on impact. So that's what I implemented, reusing the destructor component on the planet scene. At this stage, I also implemented the simplest screen wrapping imaginable, using the built-in Godot function wrapf. All it wants is the value to wrap, which is the X or Y position, and the min and max value, which is the window boundaries. And just like that, it works perfectly, both with ships and torpedoes. With the basics done, it's time for small adjustments. First, I made the ships respawn a few seconds after being destroyed. Then I added particles for the thrusts and explosions, matching the color of the ship. Sounds were missing, so I added some sound effects and music that helped with the mood. Then I made the UI and also added some gameplay. Each player had 3 lives, and the player that lives the longest wins. And then the last step for the game was to add a game icon and splash screen. And that's it. A fun little game that didn't take too much effort. I would even recommend it as a first game to make. The game is playable on itch, and the source code can be found on GitHub. Both are linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one when I remake Indy 500. Bye!